All right. This thing on? I think it is. So, yeah, if it's just comedy of errors as always, problems after problems after problems. But anyway, we're here now. And let's see. Oh, you know, I don't have that. But so, wow, the dollar up in the 113 handle. Moderating a little bit, but that's awesome. Yep. Yeah. You know what? I will kick it. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. There we go. So, Blue Angels. Yeah, you know, we had those here in Cleveland not that long ago. What, like 3 weeks ago? Labor Day weekend. A little rainy. Or was it the Blue Angels, or was it the... I think it was the Blue Angels this year. Because what's the other squad? The I want to say, I can't remember the other ones from the other branch. I don't know. Anyway, I think it was the Thunderbirds. Or no, not the Blue Angels. Anyway, we didn't hear them. We saw them one day. Anyway, whatever. Let's see here. So what do we got here? Let's do a
someplace I can't hear you whine. You're too controlling. My chin is something you shouldn't be holding.
Okay, so hit down to 2/3%, and it's trying to get my bearings on what's here because I have not looked at this really until now. So see, Antoinette, you're currently flying home right now on a plane. What I wonder what carrier you're on. Out of curiosity. Delta, United, American, Eastern Airlines? No. Coleman Air? No. Coleman? No, definitely not. So we'll keep our eyes on this. I mean, we'll see here. Now, at the same time, get this other thing up here. So over here we can see more generalized look with the Dow down. This is year over year, 15%. The S&P 17.5%, and the good old NASDAQ 126.1%. So, have anything else open right now? What about cryptos? With my daughter, Florida. Solana. So I saw some articles about Dogecoin this weekend. Like, they even have, I don't even think they have Dogecoin on this No, they don't. They're like, trading economics, like, nah, you don't need to know Dogecoin. Okay. So I'm also monitoring my connection because I was having problems a bit ago. Hopefully that is not a problem. So let's see what we got here. Bitcoin. Let's see the good old correlation. Let's get this off there. Let's get that off there. Okay, but still under 19,000. And so on. Let's see that this is, let's see, the 2-year yield. 2-year treasury yield is 4.2%. So this was a major move. Let's see, daily. Here we go. So this is to be expected, of course, but this is going to have a discounting effect on equities. So here's the dollar sitting right at 113. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. So we've got some activity on YouTube today. We had a couple submissions from the group. So we'll start there. And I have in the title of this video, Margin Calls Tomorrow. It's right at the top here from Finance News. He's not the only one. Of course. But we're going to look at the hedge funds have already lost everything they don't want you to know. From Uncle Frank, Naked Truth leaked plan. So we're going to start here. Actually, let's start with this one. Start with something, terrible to get us warmed up. Let's see. Really expected us to free fall after we fell through 30 on the Dow.
Hey, what's up, man? It's Frankie.
The Dow is one that I have it on my list here. I don't typically, it's not one that I monitor, closely, but I was thinking about possibly trying to trade the DIA ETF that tracks that index, that diamonds. But, it's interesting because we come back here. They say that in these types of market events, they take out the highly speculative equities, the highly speculative shit companies, right? The tech, the fly-by-night tech, the crypto, all that kind of stuff. And it works its way progressively towards like blue chip stocks, like more quote unquote solid companies. And it seems like, we've kind of possibly started to break through to that. We'll see. For example, like Apple. Of course, everything kind of hit this short covering rally on Friday, but Apple's only down. I think it was like 18% or so. No, 17.5 or so. 17 something percent off of its all-time high. Whereas the NASDAQ itself is 26%. Let's see what. Actually, on the ETF, it's 33. Well, okay, the 26% was year over year. So from all-time high to now is basically down 33%. So Apple only down 18%. All right. Hey, Bad Bag says, hey, Scotty Finance, where does the money go that you lose in the market? And that's a reference to something we saw, something that he discovered on Casey Shaw's Reddit. So Casey Shaw asking this question 4 years ago, which we thought was interesting, given the level of expertise that is portrayed now. So you have somebody that 4 years ago is asking this question: where does the money go that you lose in the market? Interesting. That's kind of a major shift from asking that type of question 4 years ago to putting out DD like this now. So explanation for what we saw happen today. This is referring to last Wednesday. Of course, was a FOMC, and it's I would say it's hilarious. It's not really hilarious though. Money went to Teddy Zane's new Corvette. Yep. Did he actually buy a new Corvette? Is that real? Or did you make that up? Okay. So let's go back to this.
Let me say I'm not a financial advisor. Anything that I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only. Whatever I say in this video is my opinion. It may not necessarily be factual. Look, I'm the type of person, man, I'm not really a personality worshiper.
Nice.
I really don't too much care, man, what type of influence individuals have or how many followers they may have. Man, if they wrong, they wrong. And I don't have a problem with saying something about it, man, if I feel like it. That's just the type of person that I am. I've always been that way. So we have an influencer in our community.
Uh-oh.
You know, he brought it to the community that because AMC short squeeze play, you know, was taking so long, along with some other issues that was going on with the short squeeze play. And they say naturally, people say short squeeze play take, you know, at least 2 years anyway. But because the short squeeze play was taking so long, along with
2
other
years,
issues, he's going to sell his AMC shares, go into the market, invest in some other stocks that's totally controlled by the devil now. Made money.
Is this the same guy that's sucking the devil dick?
And got back into the AMC short squeeze play. And here's the thing, man, with that. First of all, most people, man, in the community, they novice investors, they don't have the skill set that it takes to be able to do that. So a lot of them, if they made the decision to do that, a lot of them would probably, man, lose their money. Also, if the community as a whole,
I think he's talking about
the people that's involved in the short squeeze play,
sucking the devil dick,
decision to engage in that type of trading strategy while we in the short squeeze play, that would literally destroy the short squeeze play if they did that. But that's not what we do here. We diamond hands in the AMC short squeeze play. But I feel like, man, if an influencer was going to do that, why would you bring something like that to the community when you could have just did that and got back in? You didn't have to share that information, especially if you know that that type of information has the potential to destroy the short squeeze play. The only reason why you would do that is if you have motive. You know, it seemed like to me, if you, for some reason, you got some type of motivation that you would like to see the play destroyed, even though you can't destroy it, you know, but you still want to hurt the play because you wouldn't even bring information like that to the people.
Well, there is no play, you know, like, first of all, there is no play. What is the play? Let's see. Good work as always. Frankie, Phil, CSI, Scavenger. Look at that quartet. Wow. It's the new Kansas City 4. Mohammed, Phil for real, CSI, and Scavenger. Wow. No BSDD. No, let me change. No DD. No hopium, just real shit. And why we're here. Okay. God dang it. Well.
Problems, and they got things that they want to do with their money. And they entitled to the money. Because the people in this short squeeze play, they invest their money in this play in a bet, and without a doubt, we won. We came out on top. But because hedge funds and short sellers are so greedy and they got so much power, they don't want to pay out because they feel like the only people that should have life-changing wealth, be financially free, is 1%ers.
Okay, yeah, we've heard all this. Craig's right. You know, Craig's right about this. Oops, let me see here. I got that. Rushed everything. So, you know, Craig's right there. Oh, I keep misclicking things. But I will throw it back to Craig. Who do you think should be scrutinized? And I'm asking that honestly and seriously, so that we can focus on, you know, the things that are more problematic. Let's say, I mean, and you notice we don't deal with finance news. We don't deal with Benji. We don't deal with Stock Talk Daily. So Frankie may need to be put into that category. But I'll tell you, there's an entertainment aspect here for sure. AMC Bigums. The problem with him, and we can certainly take a look at this here. Most of his stuff is live streams, so 2-hour live streams. And I know I'm one to talk, but that's all I really got time for. But so it's kind of hard to you know, glean, but we can, you know, look at some of these lighter videos here, or to skim through a live stream. Okay, yeah, boss, kind of the same boat there in terms of the length, but sometimes he does clip down his stuff. So yeah, boss he seems like he's kind of, you know, having a resurgence of, I don't understand, resurgence of popularity. Been seeing some stuff coming from him. So I'll leave that there. Let's see. And truth be told, I go off of the, you know, I just search it. It's a chronological search, you know, newest video first. So it's interesting what shows up here and what doesn't. Trey's videos never show up in here. I mean, I know he doesn't have a lot of videos. He's got live streams or they're not listed, whatever. But it's like the same half dozen channels that pop up here all the time. Finance news. Now, we did have this video come up last night from Dawn, Diamond Hand Dawn. And, you know, here's another Muppet, Donahue George. It's entertainment value, really, in a morbid type of way. Let's see. Yeah. Man, he can't monitor Bigums. Too boring. Is boring. It's also very cringe, and I can't stand his voice. But beyond that, see, this whole thing, movement, whatever, is very interesting from a psychological psyop point of view. Agree. And that's kind of what, it's been one thing that we've been interested in the whole time, and why it's more interesting for us to focus on these grifters rather than the actual, like, debunking the actual narrative directly and marketing that towards the believers. We made the focus on the influencers. But these people coming into AMC and or hanging on to AMC at this point will hold to zero, and then we'll get zero. Now, I like this phrase here. There's so many nano grifters that aren't worth paying attention to yet. So many it's quite worrying. And there are new ones too. There's new, I like that phrase, nano grifters. I like that a lot. Dawn is a grifter who will probably spam us with links to OnlyFans, right? We've got a mass hysteria mixed with greed and entitlement multiplied by arrogance. Let's sprinkle in some grandiose narcissism too. Only thing left is lost porn entertainment. So many do. It's quite worrying. Got it. It is that, yes, but those are the branches. Where are the roots? And that's an interesting question. That's an interesting point. I've described this as like an inverted cult. So where are the roots? Who is the cult leader? Who is the the OGs or the the patriarchs of this movement? I mean, really, you got Mr. Dumb People Going to College, Lou. But I don't even think that he's relevant. I don't know if he's relevant anymore. I don't think he is. But that's the thing. It's kind of rotated around. This person gains popularity. Astro was a figure for a while. He exploded onto the scene last year. And then, with his double Doritos and cock and ball patterns. And now he's one of the ones who says, basically, you're living in a fantasy world if you believe in this short squeeze. So, but it's interesting because typically you'd have one person who is, in terms of a cult. But this is more decentralized. It's like DeFi, but for de-grift. I don't know. Tony D, Matt Kohrs, Lou. I don't know how much actual original content Tony has put out. Seems anymore he does quote unquote fact checking. Same with Matt Kohrs. I mean, he was certainly last year. He was part of the problem, in terms of that. And same with Lou. And there are a lot of diehard Lou fans, but even those people are seems like a lot of those people are starting to question it. Now, I could be wrong. I don't monitor this all day, every day. So really, it's only when I am doing this live stream that I look at this. So, I'm like Manuel looks at a lot of different stuff than I do, for example, and everybody does. Deep fucking value copycats are the leaders, including Trey, Matt, Astro, Keenan Grace, and Meet Kevin. Okay, so Trey has made some kind of capitulation, pivot, something. I'm trying to be diplomatic there. He's lost his marbles. Apparently, he was in New York this weekend. Matt, I feel like, tried to pivot early. He recognized that something. I don't know what he recognized, but he recognized that he had to diversify. I don't know if it worked. I don't know what his numbers look like. Astro, we talked about. He doesn't peddle the snake oil anymore. I guess maybe he actually does. Maybe he's back on the wagon. Keenan, we haven't looked at too much by him. We did more last year. And Meet Kevin as another person who's capitulated, and or at least is doing different stuff. But that's a good list. We have debunked people like Bigums and others. We destroyed their DD, showed how they're misinterpreting and straight lying about markets and the market mechanics many times. And one thing I want to harp on more is the FTD thing, because that's getting a lot of play right now. In fact, Lou even has a video about it, but almost by that exact title. Global margin call. Global margin call. AMC Ape FTD is getting too much attention. Let's see what he says. I mean, obviously, probably would agree with that, unfortunately, but...
Hold on a second. Let me take this. You already know the drill. Anyway, I'm here. All right. Let's talk about everything today. Can make it very simple. AMC and Ape, the failure to delivers, have begun to get a lot of attention on that side and that side.
On that side.
As far as for me, I believe that can't go on too much longer. As far as Ape, I see Ape as something that they're not going to bother dealing with, because Ape is so close to hitting that under $2 mark where they're going to fucking erase Ape, and shorts will cover, FTDs with,
Now, is that true? Will it get delisted or something if it hits a certain threshold? I don't know. I don't know. Who was it? Somebody. Oh, I guess it was Donnie. Unfortunately, it was Donnie. Donnie, who George put out a video that says Ape cannot be delisted. I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, it seems that everything could be delisted, but because it's preferred shares, it's different criteria or something. I don't know. The latest theory is the T plus 90 from the launch date of Ape, right? And do you know the basis for that? Because I want to say that it's basically overstock. It's an overstock extrapolation. So they saw what happened with overstock and then extrapolated 90 days out, 3 months, based on that. But that seems fairly disingenuous to call it T plus 90, because the T plus numbering is, those are actual protocols, like T plus 2, T plus 14. Those are codified durations of time that indicate something, like settlement period or what have you. T plus 9, I could not find any actual reference to T plus 90 in terms of a policy, procedure, rule, law, anything like that. It seems to be literally extrapolated from the overstock situation, which I'm not really going to go any more into overstock. Talked about it some, but it's just not the same situation. So, but I'm curious if there is more of a basis for that T plus 90 from the launch date of Ape. Matt could care less about AMC. He's just pushing through AMC fall to earth and still making money. He will just bounce you from the chat if he doesn't like your tone. Please listen to Donnie explain delisting. Okay, we can do that.
Disappear. Ape is fucked. Like I said, Ape
And so I guess what I'm getting at is it's hard to just rule out any one or group of people, because there's bits and pieces of it that kind of add up to this whole patchwork quilt of a narrative, and the community adopts the viewpoints of Lou on this one thing, synthetics, let's say, and then this other thing, they gravitate towards what Donahue George says, and so on like that. At the end of the day, it's all nonsense. So we try not to discriminate. Although, those nano pico grifters, micro grifters, like Finance News and all that shit, blatant clickbait. So, they Shill Talk Daily got me last week. I think it was last week. I wanted to see the leaked email. There was no leaked email. He got me.
Ape is gone. Okay? Somebody got fucking Ape tied up and lubricated in the back of a white van. That motherfucker is gone. So anyway, I'm gonna leave Ape alone. But as far as AMC, you have to understand that's the dog that everybody keeps kicking until that dog turns around and just mauls somebody's leg. AMC will have a run. And I will say something interesting today. I was doing some other plays and I skimmed off some profits on some other plays. I said, you know what, fuck it, let me jump in at the AMC. So I grabbed the AMC now, take it off, obviously. I'll probably take it off for a run. But people go, no, you have to hold diamond hand. That fucking boat has sailed. AMC has so many synthetic Guatemalans. We even got synthetic fucking Chilenos and Brazilians and a couple of fucking Nigerians in there. Whatever. But either way, in AMC again, so I'm in a position there because moving stuff around. I keep saying the same thing. In my opinion, Ape, they don't have to do nothing because they could send that shit right, and they're going to. They're gonna send that shit under $2. Once they do, bye Ape. That fucking Ape, they're gonna do some Epstein shit to that, some Cosby shit to that monkey. That's our fucking money.
Oh dear Lord.
But wait, what are we gonna do? You can't cry over it. Just fucking Ape. So I'm back in AMC because I keep saying that AMC is going to have its run. It's going to have its rip. And motherfuckers talking about MOASS, but they're discounting all the things on the other side that they have available to them to control that. So I'm not even going to answer. So the people that are red and want to get to a point where they can get out or want to get out with some money or make some money on top or whatever, I have no doubts in AMC. AMC has been beat, battered, wounded, robbed, cheated, you name it. But it's still a run. So I just want to let you know that those FTDs,
yep,
too many eyes on that. And we're getting closer and closer to, oh shit, we're in the chicken apocalypse, but that's a different video.
So he claimed to not be in AMC. This caused a loss of followers. He realized that, and then, ta-da, tonight he's back in AMC. Total BS, super grifter alert. Yeah, I mean, that's what it seems like, right? I'm back in AMC. Back in AMC. In fact, let's see if we can see any change in his numbers here. God, yeah, super grifters, right? God, what's he calling his channel these days? Is Lou versus Wall Street? You had to capitalize it, I guess. So, yeah. Loss of subscribers, losses. Better to look at the shorter term here. Be able to scale this. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I'm seeing losses of lots of red on there. So interesting. But yeah, no, yeah, we caught that for sure. Simple body language would tell you he's lying most of the time.
Video. So I just want to put that out there.
And, we noticed that on a lot of these people, particularly, eye contact issues, stuff like that. Trey is roach cap. I mean, yeah.
AMC and APE FTDs are getting a lot of attention. And
so
just understand, remember,
they shouldn't
that can't
be
go on forever because that kind of destroys the marketplace. But as far as popcorn selling,
it destroys the marketplace.
What? Naked short selling. Well, where the fuck are those? Where the fuck are those shares? Where? I'm sure what I bought today was nothing but IOU credit synthetics in AMC. Do you understand how fucked up this is? It's okay. It doesn't matter when it starts. It starts. Make money on that and go on. So there you go, motherfuckers.
Like garbage. Just total garbage. Verbal diarrhea. Synthetics, all this stuff. So I don't even know what the short interest is. It doesn't even really matter. With no buying pressure, decent enough institutional holding that, retail is not in control. They probably never were, but certainly they're not now. And, what are you doing? You're just putting yourself at the mercy of these players. And, the option volume isn't there. Literally cannot be afforded. Like, people can't afford to do it. The narrative itself is beginning to show signs of fraying at the edges. So at this point, it really is just, I think it's just how long is the mass of whatever? how long will the body take to hit the ground after it's been pushed out of the plane? How high is the plane? How the hell is AMC going to destroy the market? Someone please explain it to Model 3 dude and to me, because and I love the narrative too. They can't afford to cover. They can't afford to cover. Now, don't worry about the fact that, and I'm borrowing bits and pieces of what people have said here because, more creative coming at it from better points of view, but don't worry about the fact that they borrowed overvalued shares and sold them and collected that cash. Don't worry about that. They can't afford to buy them back at lower prices. I mean, that alone is such a gross perversion of the whole process of the the trade that it's like, what more? If you understand that much, anything else is just, it's like, yeah, obviously you are a fraudster. You're lying. Either don't know, you don't understand it, and you're just spouting shit, verbal diarrhea, or you do know and you're intentionally misrepresenting it as, oh my God, they're in trouble. They can't afford because you know that your audience is a bunch of uninformed people. They don't understand. They never sold anything short. They probably never will. They don't have the account to do it. They think short selling is bad. They think it's bad for the market. They think it's bad for the companies. And all of these things couldn't be further from the truth. And that's not really an opinion. That's shown through data. That short selling improves the quality of the market. It improves liquidity. It improves the spreads. So, it's not really up for debate. It's an emotional response. which gets back to what Craig was saying, I think, about the movement from a psychological psyop point of view. So much belief and disbelief have been suspended in this that it really does smell like a psyop in some way. And I just don't know. I don't really care to speculate who and what and why. But whenever anybody can be convinced to believe things that are this far off, it's interesting. It is interesting. There's no other way to put it. I don't know what kind of thinking that is. It's delusional thinking. It's misinformed, uninformed, disinformed thinking. I mean, I don't know how you could, with, a straight face and a convincing tone, claim that they can't afford to cover. I mean, it makes no sense. None. And so we'll see. It's probably about it on this video.
I have no doubts in AMC. It ain't going to be a MOASS, but if you could pull out, I don't know, let's say the motherfucker runs between what it is now up to 30, 40, 50, 70, 80 bucks again. You're saying no? You're saying, no, Lou, it's the MOASS because it's heavily shorted. I'm like, yeah, but they could stop that motherfucker. They could do a lot of fucked up things.
Now he's saying 30, 40, 50, 60, 70.
Oh, stop it. Stop it right there. Nobody's, don't look at nothing. I'm in it to take a run, and that's it. I went out, did some stuff, came back in, and I'm still doing stuff out there. But like I wanted to point out, this shit is no longer just us talking or looking at it. It's becoming public. Okay, so...
It's becoming public?
They'll address it. As far as 8, that motherfucker, they're putting a mini skirt on that fucking gorilla. So anyway, giant loves, more of this to come.
Great, more of this to come. Fantastic. So, becoming public. Interesting. Okay. It's detached from reality. That's a good way to put it too. But Bad Back saying they don't understand that shorts profit take all the time. One misunderstanding they have is the same shorters have held the same exact positions from 2020. Shorts close and reopen new many times. Right? And so we've talked about that since last year. The cyclical nature of this. Oops. The cyclical nature of these types of positions. It's different from a website that doesn't load. But I'm just curious here. This is not scientific, but see what the Google trends show. Might show something interesting. Gonna have to go back further than that. So this is interesting. Let's compare GameStop in there too, I guess. Okay. Go back to that much. So this first one, obviously GameStop squeeze. GameStop has more interest, popularity at that time. But ironically, AMC had the highest interest as well at that point. And then the script flips sort of in June, where you have AMC taking the overall interest there and GameStop down. And then, yeah, no, I mean, the interest is a lot lower according to this. Let's see. Ape's main purpose is to dilute so AMC can make money without having to ask their idiot shareholders for permission to do share offering, point blank, period. But I thought it was to expose the naked shorting. That's what we were told. Of course, that's absurd. Is it only me who realizes that those millions of FTDs and apes first week of trading was the shares that didn't get to the AMC owners' accounts that we already knew about? Probably nothing more than it taking longer to get transferred from broker to app than thought because it was an unusual event. I'm pretty sure that we've mentioned that here, that idea. In my honest opinion, Boss Blunt knows exactly what's going on. He is the one that you guys need to be watching. Like he says, quote, "We are going to be so fucking rich. People are doing a great job of bashing Lou here, and we need to keep it up." Continuing not only in the comments of his videos, but throughout the rest of the social platform concerning this play. This con artist needs to be brought to light and discredited ASAP. So lots of people calling Lou a clown. Truly a shame. Lou ain't the same Lou. Lou would give you hope on the worst of days and stomach cramps on the best of days from laughing so much. Okay, well, what's the problem with that? We see problems already. Was always positive, never give up, never back down attitude that filled people with hope and belief. Thanks, Lou. What you've done is inspired millions to hold for life, altering money, once in a lifetime opportunity. If it wasn't for you and Trey, this play might not still be alive. But what you two did can't be duplicated. It's an odd comment to me. I mean, hope on the worst of days. Okay. So hope is the most dangerous thing you can give somebody. I've said that quote before. And then stomach cramps on the best of days from laughing so much. So distract you from the bad days, with the hopium, and with quote unquote funny stuff on the good days. Either way, people are distracted. They're not thinking clearly. Not alive. These people refuse to listen or look at any view that isn't in line with their conspiracy fairy tale. All they want to hear is, quote, "You're going to be rich. You won." No matter if it's realistic or not. Okay. And I mean, this next statement here, what is happening is financially dangerous to all of those involved in this. People, kids going all in. I've seen that post so many times. It's scary. Absolutely. And we know that the market will take care of, these people to some degree. I mean, when I say take care of, I mean, it will, the market will take out its own trash. Let me put it that way. But it's still a very extremely fucked up situation that you have all of these people putting out misinformation daily, not even trying. They're not even trying. They're just pumping out bullshit, shitting it out on a daily basis. Like synthetic shares of AMC, just dumping them out there. Massive dumps. Massive dumps. And they're making money on this content. They made money on this content. To me, that's ill-gotten. Legally, I don't know, but Jesus Christ, it shouldn't be allowed. It's an epidemic. It's not part of trading. They have been warned plenty. In the end, they deserve what they get because there have been plenty of people trying to warn them. Bad Back has no sympathy anymore. And I'll just say that there weren't a lot of people doing much of anything last year, except either going along with it or not. But it was a lot tougher to do in terms of getting anybody to listen to you. Of course, it's part of the genius of bull markets, because when everything's going up, anybody who says anything different, oh, you're foolish, the market's going up, we're all geniuses. Not so much. They've been lied to and defrauded, not by the system. And this is a good, crucial point. No doubt they've been lied to and defrauded, not by the system, but by their heroes that are just plain grifters. So that's a crucial point. The unfairness, the corruption, the manipulation is not from the market or the system itself. It is from the influencers. And that's something we noticed early on last year, that okay, I think there actually is some corruption here. There is some manipulation, but it's not what they think. It is literally them. They are the manipulation. They are the corruption. These fake financial advisors who are not giving financial advice, or don't let what I say be the determining factor in influence, like Frankie says. Don't let anything I say, which is like saying, I'm going to spew some nonsense. I'm not even sure what I'm going to say. But whatever it is that I do end up saying, don't let it influence you to do anything. Okay, well, that's not really how it works. That's not how our brains work. You can tell somebody that, but then you throw around all this emotionally manipulative language, sprinkle in some hopium and some just general misinformed nonsense. Are people not letting it influence them? I don't think so. I don't think it's possible not to. On some level, it's a subconscious thing. Our brains are going to take that information and try to fill in the gaps that are there. And in that emotional of a state, you're not going to discern. It's just going to fill in and become an assumed part of the narrative, which is exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened last year with naked shorting and synthetic shares. And every time something comes up, we debunk it, put out video or do it on a live stream, debunk it, add it to the list of failed catalysts, and we're like, okay, got that, cross that one off. They're still talking about all those things. It's wild. I mean, I can pull up this, just a partial list that we came up with, but I mean, where is it? Failed catalyst 2, because I had to revise it because there was another failed catalyst I had to add to it. But, the regulations, investigations, all these things were misrepresented, not represented accurately. And FTDs, which is right here, that's a big one. That is a big one, not in terms of having much of an effect, but paradoxically or in a self-fulfilling kind of way, yes. Apes are just like addicts. You can't help someone that doesn't want to help themselves. With apes, you can't teach them if they refuse to learn. And as Lynn said last year, you can lead an ape to water, but you can't make it think. And yeah, I mean, that most of the time they won't even follow you to water. They'll just say, well, read the DD. Obviously you didn't read the DD because we don't need water. AMC was falling last week, and Tony D did not do one trading live stream because he did not want to answer silly questions for 6+ hours. And Trey just blew up from the inside from the AMC drop. We saw that. We saw that blow up. I mean, it was hard to watch, honestly, for me, just because it was so cringe. It was so ridiculous. And you see parts of that narrative still even in what he was saying, talking about these TA figures, and it's a broadening falling wedge. What the fuck do you want me to do? It's bullish. Okay, all right, Trey, take a couple weeks off, buddy. Take a couple weeks off. Realize how much better your life is when you're not sitting here lying all fucking day, misleading people, and feel like you're on the hook for all these people losing all their money. It can't help but be better. But it's pretty ridiculous. And then, of course, it wasn't that long ago that he said, hey, you know what, guys, I'm going to take a step back from YouTube. I'm going to step back. I don't want to feel like I have to do the same content. So I'm just going to blah, 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 whatever. What happened? AMC entered an uptrend. Had a little run up, and who's back? Trey's back. Like clockwork. Why? Well, he's getting thousands of views. And he says the stream's demonetized. At least some of the streams are, but then there's the issue of Casey Shaw, and we might circle back to him, but the point is just that, they don't want to be, they're fair weather grifters. I've said that before. They're fair weather grifters. When it's bullish and they can say it's bullish and people believe them, they're right there. Yeah, we're here. We're right with you. We're still holding AMC. But when it's a bear market, when it's declining, when there's no hope in sight, they don't want shit to do with it. They don't want shit to do with it. They don't need the money that bad. Let's see here. Apes are now believing that the next key date is T+90 from the birth of ape. They claim it's in November, that they're not accounting that it's 90 trading days, which is about December 26th. And I say trading days, calendar days, business days, Jewish holidays, it doesn't matter. T+90 is a made-up thing. I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong. Point me to the data. Point me to the evidence. And I know Craig's probably not saying this, but whoever believes this needs to come up with some proof, some kind of empirical evidence that suggests that that's even something should be on people's radar. I don't see it. I have not been able to find any justification for that outside of fucking overstock, which again, apples and oranges, apples and grapes. But, I mean, how many times have we heard this stuff? Different numbers, different specifics, but they can believe all they want, I suppose. But let's see. TMI will only talk about SPY and Tesla. He's just trading options. What a joke. Yeah, TMI is not, that's the misinformed investor. TMI. I see no reason to listen to anything that he says, honestly. They are all only talking about trading SPY options. So I switched from trading SPY options to NASDAQ options early this year because I knew, or had a strong feeling, I didn't know, but I had a strong feeling, and it makes sense. I mean, there's reasons why, that the NASDAQ was gonna be the heavier dropper, the more exaggerated moves. And of course, that's exactly what's played out. So it's been pretty good. But now I have a feeling that these guys Trey lost some money on Netflix calls the other week. That boggles my mind. calls on Netflix, okay? I mean, unless you're trying to catch a short cover pop, and then hit a stop loss and whatever. When you say proof being actually data from a reputable place, not some peer-reviewed Reddit post that offers no sourced info, just opinions and theories. They don't understand what proof is. No, they don't. They don't. And even when it stares them right in the face, particularly when it doesn't support the preconceived notion or the narrative, it doesn't even matter if there is. It doesn't even matter if there is. So Ape is a bigger squeeze play than any other security. It's a bigger squeeze play than any other security. I mean, what do you do with that? Where do you go from there? I mean, seriously, this is a canary in the coal mine of a major flush down, as far as I'm concerned. You know, Drano has been poured in. It is bubbling. It's about to get flushed out with 200-degree water. And, you know, any shit that is stuck to the pipes, I pardon the analogy, but anything, you know, any of these pieces of shit that are, you know, clogging up the works. When people say things like Ape is a bigger squeeze play than any security, they keep digging themselves. They just keep digging a deeper hole, as in whole versus half. You got an extra W there, George W. For themselves, we ain't going nowhere. Okay. Again, you're only digging a deeper hole with an H for yourself. I mean, anything else makes no sense. First of all, you know, right? But then, you know, keep digging a deeper hole. If the stock was going up and the short interest was going up or something like that, I can think of a half a dozen other scenarios that wouldn't be 180 degrees wrong. But, you know, whatever. Hedge funds are putting more pressure on Lou. They're going to make him walk the plank if he doesn't get us all to sell off. I don't know about that, because as far as I'm concerned, the stuff he said has kept people in artificially long, but I don't know. Could be wrong. Buying another 200 Ape on Monday morning. Wow. I mean, and then what do you do with that? What do you do with that? There's nothing you can do. There's nothing. I mean, it's not our responsibility, whatever, but Jesus. Just willfully making themselves walk their own plank. I don't know. 43 million FTDs on Ape. No way I'm selling either until they pay us. Oh, they pay us. They pay us. Pay me, motherfucker. It's not really a payment. Nobody pays you. I hate that language. I hate that phrase, just like I hate the term play. And also hedgies. So if anybody, if you use hedgies unironically, you know, prepare to be flushed, as far as I'm concerned. They can stop it, but they can't erase it. Why don't you tell us how, if there are margin calls and liquidations, how they could stop it? Once the liquidation happens and the positions are no longer in the control of hedge funds, how do they stop it? They cannot just decide to settle some of it and wait for another day. Once the liquidations begin, they have to be processed to the end. That's somehow a question. He wasn't wrong about the GME split. What, that it wouldn't do anything? So, yeah. new conspiracy going around is that the VIX was halted for a brief moment. Yeah, we got Casey Shaw's brain dead DD here on that. And maybe we should just go through that. So here's Casey Shaw explaining what he thinks happened on Wednesday. So you're trying to keep it as smooth brain as possible, of course. Again, when people say this kind of stuff, that's a sign. Flush down incoming. If you have questions, I'll be more than happy to answer below. What he means is he'll be more than happy to argue with you, and do everything to convince you that he was right, which is pretty much what happened. What does a liquidation to meet margin requirements look like? Okay. Step 1, force close, open short interest, market wide. Force close, open short interest, market wide. So close, open short interest. Okay, so we're going to be buying to close, closing the trade with a buy order, market wide. What does this look like? VIX is the Chicago Board Option Exchange Market Volatility Index. When volatility in the options market increases, this index rises. Okay, not exactly. It takes massive amounts of volatility to move this indicator large amounts. Sometimes. But, you know, do we really have to point out here that the VIX index, volatility index, looks at SPY, S&P 500 options, and, you know, comes up with a projected 1-year annualized change. That's the VIX. That is somewhat market-wide, but it's not the whole market. In other words, AMC is not in the S&P 500, so that's not included in that. Let's see. When volatility in the options market increases, this index rises. But he said that we were force closing short interest, which is buy to close, which has an upward effect on equity prices, right? What happens to the VIX or volatility in general when price is rising? Of course, you see a decline in volatility. So, I mean, this is just, it's so fucking stupid. It's so wrong on every level, pretty much every aspect here. Result, VIX will show a sharp spike due to so many positions market-wide being closed. Well, no. That's a wrong interpretation. That's not what volatility is. That's not it. That ain't it. I mean, yes, it's correlated, but you know, variance is not volatility. It's not the variance index, it's a volatility index. There is a difference. But beyond that, it's looking at the options market. It's looking at the priced in valuations of the S&P options a certain date out. There is a formula for it. It's more complicated than I can explain quantitatively. But in terms of conceptually, that's what it is. So it's not the options market in general. It's not the overall options market. It's the S&P 500. And short covering, which is essentially what we're talking about here. Why can't you just say that? Well, you can't say that. That's a no-no. You can't talk about short covering, but you can talk about forced closing open short interest. I mean, it's ridiculous. Let's use a euphemism. You know, we can see it. We can probably see it here. Oh, we'll have to go to the, let's go to the SPY. I mean, I would say that you can't make this shit up, but they literally do. And see, Badback saying here, the options themselves does not mean the VIX itself. And that's right. That's right. You're talking about a change, a percentage change in the S&P based on the option pricing. Which is not what he was saying at all. And it's just brain dead. Really, it's brain dead. It's narcissistic. The dude is such a narcissist. Really, Craig, you want to talk about somebody who deserves to get fucking raked over the coals? I say fuck all these guys. All these guys have had their moment in the sun. They've had their 15 minutes of fame. Most of them are, getting less popular. Ultimately, you look at the ones who are getting more popular, who are actually very, concretely misleading with their overall conception of the market. You need to look at Casey Shaw. He's one of the most dangerous motherfuckers out here, in my opinion, and probably bad backs too. The more that you look at him, somebody like him, who's gaining popularity like by leaps and bounds, according to Social Blade, he's gaining a lot of followers, a lot of views. In 4 years, well, I mean, I'm not going to say he hasn't learned it, but 4 years ago, we're talking about somebody who 4 years ago was asking, where do the losses go when you lose money in the stock market? Where does that money go to? That's what he was asking on Reddit 4 years ago. Now, this is what he's putting on Reddit. These cracked out fucking bullshit explanations that are fractally wrong. Fractally wrong. And then has the fucking balls to go on Reddit. Go on Twitter and say, I'm going out on a limb here, but I think my analysis is spot on. No, dude, it's not. It's fucking 180 degrees off and upside down. Fucking clown. He's a fucking clown. And he deserves to get called out relentlessly. I'm the gloves are off on people like this because he has no interest in listening to anything, in being corrected, being even suggested, hey, maybe you should look into this. What about this aspect? What about this? No. What happens is they block you. They block you on Twitter. They block your comments on YouTube. They disallow you to leave comments and chat, etc. And that's what happens. That's what happened. So people like this, it's a combination of all those things. Total lack of understanding. Manipulative personality, narcissist personality, unwillingness to listen to any criticism, and actively malicious in the response. No, this dude is a joke. He deserves to get fucking creamed. He belongs in jail with the rest of them. No gloves. None. I have no respect for motherfuckers like this because he has no respect for his audience. Period. That's it right there. He has no respect for his audience. He doesn't respect them enough to do any type of due diligence. And really, he's a fucking scoundrel. He is a scoundrel. So then we have forced buying of shares to settle the closed positions. Okay. So they go from, they go from forced close, which is buying, to forced buying of shares to settle the closed positions. Okay. These are two different steps for him. I don't know. Impact, increase in market prices across the board. ETFs, commodities, everything. The whole kitten and caboodle. Kitten and caboodle. This is how you know this guy's ignorant. Little gems like this. The whole kitten and caboodle. That belongs on Bone Apple Tea. If you don't know that one, will. A lot of these clowns belong on the subreddit. Perfect replacement. Analog stick works perfectly and has brought a new leash of life to the controller. A new leash of life. Can happen when installing advanced malware and there is a security thread in the hypervisor you're using. Security thread. You see the point. Fleece is fleece. You get whatever is cheap that has what you want in terms of fit, pockets, and zippers. In terms of, how was your dinner served? Bone apple tea. So, kitten and caboodle. Oh, shit. I saw that the first time I read it. I was like, oh my God. Kitten and caboodle. Bone apple tea, KC. AMC and ADD, I say, just ADD. Just ADHD. Step 3, market values extracted by long institutions. What does this look like? He's talking about Wyckoff price cycle charts. Wyckoff. On an extremely intraday basis. Impact, major price markdowns across the board from long position selling. No picture required. All 3 steps were achieved today, starting exactly at 2 p.m. last Wednesday. 2 p.m. last Wednesday. What happened last Wednesday at 2 p.m.? That's not mentioned anywhere in this goddamn post. I mean, you can't make this shit up. The fact that you go through all this bullshit, go through all this, fake intellectual nonsense is fractally wrong, stupidity. And say, oh, it happened today, starting at 2 p.m. What the fuck happened at 2 p.m., motherfucker? Do you not know? Do you not want to correlate it with that? What the fuck? This is clown shit. Clown shit. Seriously. This wasn't the first time that it happened. It was just way more noticeable today. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, way more noticeable because this narrative has been building. Fed hasn't changed their message, but it's become more aggressive to say, look, we're not pivoting. We are raising the rates and we're keeping them there through next year. There is no pivot. There is no rate cut. Deal with it. Reprice the fucking equities market. So all this bullshit, Wyckoff, VIX, whole kitten and caboodle. Sure, whatever, maybe. Okay, fine. But what's the underlying event, market event that precipitated this move? And it's not addressed at all. Not addressed at all. It's ridiculous. So Casey Shaw is in the sights. He is in the crosshairs. And I meant to do a video on this last week. But you know how things are. It just didn't happen. So let's go back to the futures. Back to the futures. And we see that we are now pretty much unchanged on everything, or at least on stocks, dollar. Although I guess dollar it is holding a little higher, 113 handle. And speaking of that, let's go. You show me any of these AMC grifters that talk about. I mean, yeah, Trey for a while liked to pretend he was Mr. Macroeconomics, and I'm not an economist. But in terms of trying to become a better trader, there's stuff that you need to learn about and learn correlations and things like that. So, dollar up in the 113 handle, and then I want to zoom out and see, let's increase the time frame. So let's just go max available. Looks like we have data going back to 2000. 2000, sorry, 2000, beginning of 2000. And the all-time high there is 121. So, you know, where are we at here? This is dot-com crisis, 9/11, you know, a lot of turmoil, falling, ultimately hitting a low of 70. This is in 2008. Of course, we know what happened there. And really, so in the, pretty much in the, so this is 2000, beginning of 2002 right here. So that started the decline. So, you know, and then you have various points of, I mean, you know, you could also look at, let's, just to make it a little easier, look at something like the, and I won't stay on this very long, so bear with me, but, you know, in any of these, you know, like the 2-year yield, zoom out on that, and then we could also overlay the DXY or the dollar index, and we, you know, for shits and giggles, we could also overlay the SPY. And you know what? Because I'm feeling risky, let's overlay the VIX as well. Not as crazy as whoever had that chart that, oh, that was Casey Shaw. Yeah, he had a chart with every sector on it. I think that was Casey Shaw. Anyway, ridiculous. We could go to a quarterly chart too, although that distorts the scale. Anyway, but so let's see what's what here. So the blue line is the SPY. Blue line is the SPY. Yellow is the VIX. You know, so right away you see these inverse correlations pretty much between the yellow line. Let me get that dollar off there. Get the yield off there. You know, so inverse correlation basically here. So when we saw the COVID crash in February, March 2020, we saw the VIX spike, you know, and hit 80, 90, nearly 90. And by the way, that's not $90. It's not in dollars. People say dollars. It's not really in dollars, but anyway. So there's that inverse correlation. Now we throw the dollar on here. And take the VIX off. And so, again, you see the sort of inverse correlation. Right here, equities were going down, the dollar was going up, and then equities went up, and the dollar went down. Now, the dollar is going up, and equities are going down. Okay, so we have that inverse relationship, and then we'll throw the yield back on and just get rid of the dollar. Just look at the yield and the SPY, and this is where it gets a little bit, you know, less clear cut, maybe, because you do see contrary, you see parallel motion, you see contrary motion, and it sort of depends on where things are in the cycle. You throw the dollar on as well. Actually, let's just do, yeah, we got the dollar and the SPY. I'm sorry, the dollar and the yield. And you see that it's sort of not exactly lined up There's like here, bit of a delay and things like that. So, but and like I said, it depends on where you're at in the cycle of because ultimately higher inflation interest rates are going to get priced in to equity prices, but you know, there's a shock, there's a lag, there's an inefficiency that's created like at times like right now when bonds are going down. So we have you know, if we take the Y off here, we just get the bond itself. Put the Y on there, it gives us the yield. So of course, bonds 101, as bonds go down, yields go up. So we see an inverse correlation. We're on monthly. I do realize we're on monthly here too. So we probably should go to a weekly or even daily time frame. Then I'll move on from bonds because nobody cares about bonds. But it's something that I really tried to up my bond game, so to speak, in terms of understanding and how things correlate, at least as an equities trader, index option trader. So we've got the bonds here, and we can overlay the yield here. So as bond prices go down, the yield goes up. See that? And so when you have these, for lack of a better term, shocks or, you know, major moves, or volatility in the bond market, that's going to create a pricing inefficiency, and it takes time for those to be worked out. And then ultimately, you're going to see, you know, yeah, you're going to see stocks go down. Ultimately, you'll see stocks come back up as these things are priced in mid to longer term. There's really no point here other than to say that, you know, Casey Shaw's got a long way to go. He's closer to the where does the loss go in the market when I lose money. He's closer to that than this. So, 4 steps back. So closing out that branch of the tree, let me just say, so here's an example of one that I think, this is for Craig, deserves more scrutiny because this is so far off that it really, I spent way more time on it than it really deserved. And it's just kind of ridiculous. Okay. So anyway, what do we have going on there over in the bond, equities, commodities market? Yeah. So we've got a very strong dollar, and yeah, we'll have to see what happens when the market opens and when some other markets around the world open. Speaking of which, I think we have anything yet. It's too early, but always like to check these. So we got Bitcoin going down more. It's about $100 less than it was earlier. So these are 10 years. Here, commodities, it's kind of doing a little general check here. Still have coal up massively, UK gas, natural gas. Lithium, this is year over year. Eggs up 164% on a year over year basis. in the United States. That's interesting. Salmon, 46%. Look at these electricity prices in Europe. So, I mean, yeah, 55% in the United Kingdom year over year, 71% in Germany, bad. Nearly 400% in France. So this is 558 euros per megawatt hour, which is hard for me to conceptualize that price. But when you say, okay, it's up 400%, or Italy, 123%, that's a crisis. Okay. All right. Okay, so now that everybody's asleep from the bond discussion, which wasn't much of a discussion, I will concede. AMC acquisition will cause the squeeze. And I'm not going to give this clown any more attention. I'm not going to give Thomas James any more attention because all of his shit is just about as brain dead as you can get. But what's he saying? Somebody will acquire AMC, I guess. I don't know. I thought AMC was buying Pixar. That's what I got in my title. That's what I thought was happening. So I guess not. I guess I was wrong on that. Dang it. Let's see what we got over in Telegram. Okay, now let's see. All right, we got Lou talking about AMC debt. We can look at that because, you know, hey, entertainment. I'm an entertainer, baby. Every once in a while, you know what, you got to throw in.
What's going on, my little silly motherfuckers? All right, listen, I just had somebody earlier today send me a screenshot that Popcorn AMC is going to try to refinance his debt. And here's my take on this.
So, it's awesome. I mean, I think it was Manny who said this last night, maybe in a Telegram chat, which is available for everyone. And links in the description. I don't know. I think it was him. Somebody said it. Oh, great. That's a fantastic idea. Let's refinance just when interest rates are going up from 0 to 4%. Or, you know, yeah, fantastic. Yeah, it's an Adam Aaron move. Adam Aaron's.
Okay. I told you from the beginning, his thing was, you motherfuckers, he didn't see it like squeeze. Now, he addressed you as apes that want to squeeze and the shorts are going to die. And, you know, we're going to.
Shorts are going to die, and my connection's going to die, apparently. So, I am experiencing interruptions. Clicking on that will not tell me why. Okay, let's see if this...
Beat the shorts, you know, that type of stuff. But the reality was, he was looking to turn you motherfuckers into an ATM long-term shareholder, whether you liked it or not, or got any value out of it, in order to get AMC out of debt and yada yada. You know the whole deal. The thing is that now he's going to go through the process of like trying to restructure, you know, AMC. Remember I said a couple of weeks ago already that I said that AMC is probably going to announce, you know, like ending a Q4 to Q1 that they're out of debt. They did that shit through us. But that being said, remember what I said. If you're going to restructure your debt, if you're going to be out of debt, why can't you do a share buyback in order to clean up your stockpile? Because you have a bunch of shares out there and a bunch of failure to deliver, a lot of synthetic.
I'm going to have to go tell John McAfee to take a hike. Let's see, Antoinette says, I have 3-hour wait until my next flight. Oh dear. That's a boring time. So, did I miss the MOASS? Nope. You still got time to transfer your shares to computer share, okay? I know that's why you're asking. You still have time to go ahead and transfer all 690 of your AMC shares to computer share. MOASS tomorrow because margin calls tomorrow. 0 chances of paying the debt in Q4. I say 0 chance, 100% chance of paying 0% of the debt in Q4. So no debt paid.
Why don't you just bring them back? You got the cash. That'll strengthen up AMC even more. Imagine if AMC, instead of issuing out all those fucking apes, were to have started a share buyback. One, it would have left them much more stronger as a company. A company that holds a majority of its stock is strong and credit worthy.
Right. But doesn't that cost money? I'm just thinking here, if you're going to buy something, usually you need money to do that with. Who knows?
They created ape. But now that you took this money, you're gonna refinance your debt, whatever. Why isn't AMC doing a share buyback? That's obviously there has been a miscounting of these shares, and there's been abuse from brokers selling shares that they don't have.
I don't think that's what that means. I don't think that they can.
Come on,
there really can't be a miscounting. It doesn't really work like that. But okay. Why would AMC want to do a share buyback? It's still overvalued and company, regardless of debt or not debt, AMC is still unprofitable. So, right, they would buy their shares back at an overvalued price in order for them to fall more. Of course, bad back. I mean, that's it. Oh, didn't you hear Kathy Wood is taking over the CFO?
Everybody knows it. So my thing is, here we go again. You're going to restructure that. Hey, it's great. Apes, this is good. Let me tell you something. Somebody calls me an ape, I think I'm going to fucking hit him in the throat. That is the most insulting fucking thing.
Ooh.
Let me tell you something. Call me an ape and you'll wake up in a hospital. But anyway, that being said, the idea of...
So, Jihad Muhammad's criticism of this guy, Lou, is that he's sucking the devil dick. The devil dick. Come to his hood and say that and, get, fucked up, whatever. I mean, it's hilarious to me. Lou is still grifting. There's no squeeze. The only way AMC will be debt-free in Q4 is if bankruptcy happens. And I don't even think they would be debt-free. Well, I guess technically, right? But the obligations would still... it wouldn't be resolved. I mean, yeah. I found an AMC theater location that was for lease, and it was being leased as an AMC theater, like commercial lease. Forget where it was. I don't know if I still have the link, but it was on one of those commercial real estate websites. But the thing, the description said, and Antoinette, you'll like this. The description said, talked about the facility and whatever, and it said AMC has experienced, a renaissance of interest due to retail investor interest, yada yada yada, and this is your chance to get it, to be part of part of the whole thing. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It was ridiculous, but I don't know if it. I wasn't clear on the terms, but yeah, it had all that stuff in the description. AMC is going to have to close theaters and lay off workers. They won't survive. Well, it's a good thing that they acquired all those theaters then. And new chairs and laser projectors. I guess those aren't even there yet. They just signed the deal, but I mean, this is one of those times when I think, it's not unreasonable to ask whether, well, maybe to admit, say, retail investors did not save AMC. They merely delayed the inevitable. And is that really better? I don't know. I would say probably not. Because not only is AMC likely going down in flames, but look at all the people that it's taking down with it. If it had just been, it's like the too big to fail thing. I mean, AMC, certainly not too big or important to fail. But when things are artificially prolonged. Oh, Ken Griffin calling. Whoops. Yeah. I'll get back to him shortly. Nobody can predict the future, I guess. But yeah, it was definitely, and so I'm gonna have to address that. But you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. Is it better, or did it just? It's like this current market we're in now. These bear market rallies, they have the effect of creating a bullish sentiment, even though very much still squarely bearish overall trend. It's not necessarily good for the tone of the marketplace, for the attitude that market participants, and particularly retail investors maybe, have towards the market, if they're, and this is just a function of the way it works, so you can't get rid of it. But what I'm saying is that it doesn't contribute to the overall trend. In other words, the market was going down even as it was going up few weeks ago. We were still in a longer term period of downward movement. And so, yes, we had this localized counter trend, call it, but it was still bound to go down. AMC has been on that same downward trend for years before the pandemic. Pandemic hits. It's looking like they're down for the count. Oh, and then miraculously, the retail investors come in and save AMC. Well, great. So now when AMC collapses, not only will they, take down the company, all the workers, etc., everything associated with the business, you have this army of bag-holding retail investors who expected to get rich generationally from this. They expected generational wealth with little to no effort. All they had to do is hold, and that doesn't even cost anything. It costs nothing to hold, supposedly. But instead, they're going to lose everything. I mean, that's talk about some irony. I mean, that's the ultimate of irony in my eyes. So was it better? I don't know. I would say, you know what, as a contrarian, I would say no, it wasn't better. Let the damn thing, should have failed. If it was going to fail, let it fail. Don't let it flop around like this and get everybody's hopes up that, oh, they can put it on life support. We can save it. No, you can't. Most likely, if that's the case, you know, quit playing games with my heart.
Quote, financially sound AMC, while all
what's
of
his name?
Us don't know how many shares, how many shareholders, how many IOU credits out there, all those synthetics that were created. Share buyback. It strengthens AMC. It puts them in a solid position.
Solid position.
A true push from the company just to organize and know exactly how many shares are out there. Because right now, don't know.
Hey, no, see, this is, again, here we go.
Nobody know.
Well, Adam Aaron has said that they've counted it 6 times and yada, 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 and that there's no evidence. But, of course, you can't take what he says as face value. Everything's in cryptic code. I mean, it doesn't. Why does anybody bother saying anything or listening to anybody else? Why does anybody bother listening to anybody else or saying anything themselves? Because the next person's just going to come along and say whatever they want that completely discredits or contradicts what was said by the previous person. So Adam Aaron says, look, this is we don't have any evidence of this. It's not true. So can we put this to bed? And what the apes see is they see, oh, he said wrong 3 times. So that means that they've sold the float 3 times. No, that's not what he said. That's not what he meant. That's what you saw. That's what you heard. Because you are literally a fucking moron and you don't have any business. You should have a fucking joint checking account with your mom. Because you literally can't make decisions without thinking that you're going to get rich. Makes no sense. I don't get it. But exactly how many shares are out there right now? Because nobody knows. No, Lou. No. They do. Everybody knows. Everybody has the capacity to know. It's just that nobody listens. What there is none of is listening, understanding, and trust in the system or the market or the company itself or the goddamn CEO. So this is brain dead as fuck.
But that's just my take. Like I said, I'm here for the rip. I don't give a fuck about AMC. I will never step foot in AMC ever again.
He's been saying that for a while.
Let's go to the movies. I'll be like, yo, fucking Netflix. Like, I will never, ever. I think I might even stop other people. I see people standing in a ticket line about to go into AMC. I'm gonna be like, yo, they got big rats in there. Like, don't go in there, motherfucker. Like, I'll say anything. I'll say, yo, my neighbor caught the monkey in there. Anything. To me, fuck AMC, and I haven't changed my opinion on that. So I am a shareholder, so I can turn around and now and say this once again. I was only not a shareholder for like 2-3 weeks, so I was out there fucking doing the octopus, putting my tentacles everywhere. But yeah, fuck. If I see anybody taking free movie tickets and popcorn and shit like that while you came here for the squeeze, you deserve a hard life, because that's just how it is. So anyway, my thing is, financially sound,
that's just how it is.
Buy back those fucking shares. Buy them back.
Come on,
that's the
dude.
fucking
No.
best thing for AMC. Think about it. They have their shares back. They're solid. They did a proper accounting. There's no synthetics out there anymore. No more failure to none of that. You know what that will do to the brokers and everything on the street when they have to start buying back the shares they sold to us? Popcorn could have initiated this at any time. But now is that time. I know he won't do it. I love the shorts on the side. I love the shorts, yeah. You don't love no Ace. He loves the motherfuckers. Anyway, I'm just gonna stop. This fucking
Yeah, right.
play. It's fucking. But I'm gonna make money out of it.
There is no play. It's not a play. It's dead. It's been dead for over a year.
That motherfucker is happy with his horn. That's New York, motherfucker. But no joke. I've lived in places for a bit. I bounced all around America. There was a place I stood at down in Orlando one time. I'm not gonna kid you. Fucking beautiful place. Downtown Orlando. It was incredible. It was so charming. Had the courtyard. It was just incredible. It was fucking incredible. Best neighbors in the world. I mean, I had 2 creepy Puerto Rican fags that live upstairs. They had this weird little dog, but they were cool people, whatever. But at the end of the day, I had a fucking Amtrak line that ran right behind the fucking property. So I'm sleeping and like, and I started to fucking hear like the fucking floor shaking. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Florida don't have no fucking earthquakes. All of a sudden, like I'm like, yo, dog, where's that shit coming? I thought it was fucking hallucinating. Fucking alligators and Amtrak trains. I mean, like, all they gotta do is like fucking like hand out free almond milk and that's it.
So okay,
that shit. But it was crazy because fucking like so fucking kind of crazy.
Pull up this article here.
I was in River where Benny's at San Antonio. Fucking Riverwalk.
Benny in San Antonio.
Water moccasins, fucking swimming around, trying to fucking like, and then you got like wild bums everywhere. I'm like, this fucking. I'm like, oh, I just got off on a tangent, but anyway, fuck AMC, fuck popcorn, fuck all that shit. If you're gonna refinance the debt, if you're gonna be solid, you got all this money.
Shut up, Lou. Okay, so this is Harvard Business Review. So Al's old stomping ground. Maybe Al contributed to this article. It's talking about share buybacks. So it's talking about how they become common and yada, yada, yada. This article's from 2001. But I'm just going to come down to how will the buyback affect your company's value? Contrary to the common wisdom, buybacks don't create value by increasing earnings per share. The company has, after all, spent cash to purchase those shares. And investors will adjust their valuations to reflect the reductions in both cash and shares, thereby canceling out any earnings per share effect. If increasing earnings per share were the only rationale for buybacks, they would have no impact on value, which, as we've seen, is certainly not the case. Buybacks affect value in 2 ways. First, the buyback announcement. Its terms and the way it's implemented all convey signals about the company's prospects and plans, even though few managers publicly acknowledge this. Second, when financed by a debt issue, buybacks can significantly change a company's capital structure, increasing its reliance on debt and decreasing its reliance on equity. Okay, so I'm not going to go further into that, but, point there being, it will be repriced to reflect the rebalancing of cash and equity. So it's not a panacea. It's not a cure-all. It's not going to help. Okay, Lou has nothing to talk about. This grift is coming to a sad ending. Well, I think we got some people who would dispute the sad part of that. Retail will be left holding a big bag. Again, I don't think it's sad. I think it is just its natural selection, if you will. It is gullible people who have not performed the functions that they are supposed to perform in order to maintain their position in the market. And it's ridiculous to most of us because we understand that you have to reevaluate, you have to adjust, you have to change the way that you look at things, you have to, this and that, all that stuff. But they didn't do that. They didn't do that. They, diamond hands. That's never been the way that, it's one thing for a long-term buy and hold, but that's never what this was. Anyway, my point is, you have more compassion than I do. That makes you a better person. That's undisputable. However, he or she who feels, that it's coming to a sad ending and this and that. But I prefer to look at it as it's going to make them better. It can only actually, in my view, do good because number one, it will cancel out, it will flush out a lot of this noise. And that just improves the quality, I think, of everything in the market. So, number one. Number two is it forces them to change because they literally got knocked out. Like, whatever analogy you want to use, they're out. They're out the race. They're down for the count. They're out. So conventional wisdom says, shit, I just got knocked out. What the fuck did I do? How can I avoid that? This and that. That's conventional wisdom. That's what somebody who actually wants to improve and not blame everyone else for their mistakes would do. However, I have a feeling that with this particular, it's not right. God dang it. With this particular set of circumstances, I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of blame shifting and whatever else. Chris, you come in here to tell me that. Chris comes in here to the chat. That's why I love this guy. Comes in the chat to notify us that Al from Boston is live. Really? And what do you want me to do with that information? I'm just curious. Oh, that's funny. I am just busting your balls, Chris. Because I'm surprised that you're even here on a Sunday. What with the family dinners, family time, and whatnot. So it's nice to see you. But that's funny that it just tickles me that you have the, whatever you want to call it. That's great. Al the clown. Yeah, Al's blocked most of us. Okay, Antoinette says she's glad she sold at 26. Audacity, that works. Gall works too. Concern or gumption, maybe. Yeah. So Antoinette says that she sold at 26. I'm going to be forever grateful for Scott and Chris. I think she means Chris Norland. But she could also mean Audacious Chris. That's a new nickname, I guess. Audacious Chris. I was able to afford to attend my dad's funeral and have money to gift my nieces and nephews. Thank you, Scott. Well, I'm most certainly welcome, but I don't feel like I've done anything here. It's not my account. It's not on my account. That you were able to do that. So, but it's all just to hopefully expose what's happening here. And sorry, I'm distracted by trying to get this phone, and I'm like an old fart here trying to. How do I do this? I can't get this phone. Anyway, but I'm happy for you, Antoinette. I'm glad that you left that prison of thought and all that kind of stuff. So that's good. All right, let's come over here, and I'm probably gonna. Okay, so anyway, not much change there yet. So let's go back over here, and because Chris was so gracious, Chris, we will pop over to Al from Boston's Live, and I'm going to put that on, and I'm going to have to take care of something on my phone here real quick. And, Kyle and Frank are here. Great. Awesome. Kyle. Love Kyle.
One of them closes. I'm sorry, you've won the town. It's almost like a tiny monopoly. And, we've got...
This is going to be fantastically stupid, I can tell right now.
I want to overdo it. I mean, in my video today, I talked a lot about how much we used to meet with Amazon. We met with Amazon like 3 times prior to the pandemic. And I showed like 3 years of articles pointing to it to back up my research. And I jumped on what Al said about Disney because we've already got a strategic alliance with Disney. And, Adam Aaron was in San Francisco, and so is Pixar, which is owned by Disney. And then
they're talking about the Pixar thing
with no caption, okay, other than checkmate.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I picked up on what Al said, and Thomas James already put one out
Some
on the
fucking
same thing.
bullshit.
And he went into that guy went bananas tonight, Al, on a possible combination of companies that could be acquired, especially now that that one law is out of the way with Paramount being a buyer, Netflix being a buyer, Disney, Amazon, etc. So he found some other DD that built on what you said, So I think if the short hedge funds weren't in the way, I think AMC would have probably been acquired already. That's just my opinion.
What? Now, what sense does that make?
Made a play for him already.
What sense does that make? I'm sorry, I got to break in here. What sense does that make? If the short hedge funds weren't in the way? What in the fuck? God.
Still bouncing back because the opportunity to show a return on that investment is so much greater at the bottom. It's like your depiction from the other day. You're buying at the bottom of the V, knowing that it's going to return to that previous standard.
Yeah.
So that's an incredibly good opportunity.
Look, ideally,
did they just have the audacity to use the word opportunity in the same sentence as talking about AMC? I mean,
yes.
God, come on.
I've had to learn about wide releases, re-releases, limited releases. They've got this different menu, and it actually
it's all so complicated. Wide releases,
some genius to schedule films in the right cities and regionally. It's really difficult. But ideally, what I'd like to see, Kyle, is I'd like us to become leaner, and by leaner I mean cut away the bad properties, the ones that are losing money, acquire more cherries, and continue to diversify the business model. Bring in, the retail popcorn, the branded credit card. I want to see those new revenue streams set up. Because, to me, maybe the theater business model, not only does it need to evolve, but maybe it needs to shrink a bit to be optimized.
Wait. Go ahead. I don't agree.
So the good news for you is that they're already doing that. There was over by where I live, or not too far from where I live, there was actually a mall that had shut down, and the only thing still operating in the entire mall was an AMC theater, and it was the least attended AMC theater probably in the whole city, and had to have been costing them an arm and a leg. And they just recently, they kept this thing so open so long that they had knocked down the entire rest of the mall, and all that was left was the AMC part. And then so at some point they finally pulled the trigger and knocked down the AMC too. But it was hilarious to me how long they kept the AMC open. But that's definitely some of that dead weight being trimmed in a very positive way. So,
Al, I already know what you're going to say. But let's say you and I own a small corporation, and in it we've got like 12 Jimmy Johns, and one of the Jimmy Johns, it's always struggling. Al, that's very different than if you own 12 theaters and one of the theaters is. Al, I don't think you understand how expensive this giant building in this day and age, to heat it, to cool it, okay, to insure it. It's, when you've got a bad theater, you've really got something on your hands, Al. I mean, it's burning money like wild. So I understand. I can read your mind, Al. I know what you're saying. Okay, you want that big footprint, and I get it. But I'm telling you, in this day and age where look at the property taxes, in the blue states and things like that. Al, I'll tell you, when you've got a losing theater, you've got a real problem on your hands. It's burning money like wild. It's not like one unit of your franchise is lagging behind the others. I want you to just consider that,
Okay. Margot says, hey Al, FYI, right is pronounced reet, not right.
It's reet. She's right.
Well, Margot Montagony. That's how I say your name. How do you like them apples?
Lord.
I'm so petty. I'm a petty bastard. Listen, all I'm saying is this, right? This model of going to a movie theater, going out and experiencing not a metaverse-driven existence, but actually going out and participating in life, humanity, interactions with human beings, social places, and going into establishments, that can never be discounted at all. You might have a period where like a year, what we have seen is COVID was the deciding factor. Okay, it took us a year to get us a vaccination plan together and all that stuff to do all the things that we need to do to get this virus under control. And we did that in under a year. That's the medium right now, right? That's the benchmark. Can the movie theater survive after a year? Absolutely. We've seen it in Top Gun. You saw the attendance for that. You saw the attendance for the Spider-Man movie.
Fuck Top Gun. Who gives a
all we're
fuck
doing is we're
about
battling
Top
a bunch
Gun?
of fuckers that
Seriously.
made a bad deal,
Fuck
and they're
these
coming
guys.
up
What a
with
bunch of
excuses, coming up
clowns.
with reasons not to pay. And
They
when I
are a
read
bunch
these
of
articles,
fucking clowns.
The movie theater industry is blah, 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 this, that, and the other. I just see horseshit, illogical horseshit. And I'll leave it at that, man.
Hey, I put a chart in my video today, Al.
Yeah.
That showed. I sent it to Kyle yesterday. It literally, and I've seen it before, but this whole scenario made me want to bring it up again. It showed the gross receipts for U.S. and Canada going back to like 1982. This chart, with the exception of the pandemic, is perfect. It's like a beautiful 45-degree angle heading up, and to listen to chumps like Gasparino and other people out there that are saying, "Oh no, streaming killed." No, that's not the case.
Yeah,
it's not the case. In fact, take a look at it later because the chart is pretty impressive.
Those are the same people that were saying, "Oh, Blockbuster is going to kill the movie theater," and so on and so. It's the same bullshit.
Red box.
The thing I was pointing out about about that chart the other day was that because I'm in the future at this point, you guys. I'm in Monday already.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's many days ago for me. The historically speaking, attendance to movie theaters is always higher in a recession or a depression.
Yes.
And I think it's a psychological thing that people, especially when they're restricted on cash flow and so on, they will find those opportunities for escapism, and going to the movie theater is like an escape.
Right.
Yeah.
Even when I used to live in Chicago, and I used to go to that the Rosemont AMC, I'd get all dressed up in a suit and show up and have cocktails with friends and really make an event of going to the theater. And that was like a huge thing. Like it was a big escape from being dirt fucking poor in Chicago. Something that I really love to do, and I think that a lot of people are like that, and that graph definitely shows.
Listen to them
during
trying
the
to
height
justify,
of various
like, oh, the
recessions
movie
from the
theaters
80s.
are actually going to do really well. What a bunch of, I mean, seriously, because they have etched out their stupid little position in the sand, saying fundamentals will be what causes the squeeze. Fundamentals will cause this. I mean, how fucking stupid. Jesus fucking Christ. These guys are a fucking joke.
The pandemic. And the other thing that I would build on that, Kyle.
Yeah. The other thing I would build on that, because I'm a fucking Republican baby boomer. Go fuck yourself.
There's tough times.
No offense to any
stagflation.
other
people might
non-retarded
not go and buy the Louis Vuitton purse. They may not take the vacation to Hawaii and swap that out for, driving. And
they're going to go to the movies instead.
But they won't give up their $5 cup of coffee at Starbucks.
Jesus
They
Christ.
won't give up going to the theater because it falls in that category of affordable luxuries. So you might give up something big because times are tough.
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised. Look at Starbucks. Look at the footprint of that this place sells $5 cups of coffee, and there's one from here to China. So
okay, wait a minute.
I think we're in a good. I think I really do we have a short squeeze? No, but I think we're in a really good spot with our. I think people have discounted, and it's because of the media. They have discounted that our number one competitor is not only in bankruptcy, but may be in more trouble than they would want to admit. And we've got
will actually do well in the future, not go bankrupt, even though the precedent is the earnings have been going down, the fundamentals are in the shitter, there's all this competition, my connection is taking a shit, and
that's a huge.
It's really pretty
That's
stupid.
not what he meant.
That's not what I meant, Julie.
Wait a minute. I got something here.
Wait, hold on a second. I got to go back.
Came out wrong.
That's not what I meant. What are they talking
I
about?
think they know better than we do.
And they've got to be stressing out about it too, especially if even at a bare minimum, if all four of those movies did over 300 billion each, that's a huge block of attendance, No,
Julie, I didn't say
that's not what he meant.
That's not what I meant, Julie.
Wait a minute. I got something here.
Sorry, Kyle.
That came out wrong.
Uh-oh.
Real quick, where the hell did this guy go? Hold on. Luke Skywalker.
The guy talking about it being Adam Aaron and not Adam Aarons.
Yeah, Luke Skywalker. Speaking of, it's Adam Aaron. There's no S at the end. Do you understand why your father cut your hand off? This is the reason why. This is the reason why, Luke.
Okay.
Your dad cut your hand off. Go ahead, Kyle.
Let's stop correcting Al from Boston's speech. I think it's funny when Al says Adam Aarons. My mom
Let's
does
stop
that.
correcting.
Say Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, this is what you're dealing with here. A bunch of fucking God.
Okay,
God.
and I was going to get around to correcting.
Quit correcting him.
Let's move on.
We wouldn't want people to be fucking accurate.
I'm gonna call it right just to spite Margot Montagny. Whatever her name
These
was,
guys are
from
such
now on.
fucking clowns. I
Go
mean,
ahead.
seriously. I missed the no squeeze. I missed the no
That's a lot of
squeeze.
extra energy that you were investing into spite.
Well,
man.
you know what? Hate and anger is a renewable resource. It's unlimited. Go ahead. Let's continue on.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, but I am very much inclined to agree with Frank in terms of the
And why did
going to
somebody
movie
give
theater
them
being
$4.99?
something that
I mean, give me a
even
fucking
when
break.
You are really down financially, like I was when I lived in Chicago. That was something that I would scrape together cash for because it was a nice, fun thing to do. Where I definitely couldn't afford to jet off to Paris or really
Rule
take some amazing
11880.
luxury trip, or
Like any of these
even,
guys know any
go
of fucking rules. I mean,
hang
why
out
would
for whatever,
anybody
something not,
ask
something
these guys a
reasonable.
question and send them money? They have no fucking clue.
But so it's one of those affordable luxuries that
Settlement
people
of
can,
syndicate accounts. Oh yeah,
put
that's
together
it.
the money for it.
Yeah, that means you're going to get rich in 90 days. What the
idea,
fuck is wrong with these
we can
people?
come in and make base estimates saying, okay, well, let's look at how Black Panther did, and let's just say
bad back. You're right about
we do with
your theory about these about all these grifters being people who've never had any type of attention, positive, never had any influence over anything. So they've taken this and they've run with it, and it is that has unfortunately influenced the quality and the integrity of what they do, what they talk about, the process. I mean, there is no process. There is no quality. So, yeah, I mean, that's a problem. That is a problem. And that's, I'm sorry to say, that's why random ass fucking idiots in the street, the streets, not Wall Street,
how they follow the
that's why
formula.
Random ass people from the street, streets,
I don't doubt that they probably
generally don't just start talking about finance and stocks.
First one.
Like what you got here is you got a bunch of blue collar motherfuckers, and I have nothing. I'm a blue collar motherfucker.
All four of these films that are coming out,
you got a bunch of people who have no business talking about what they're talking about. Lou fits in that. All of them, they all fit in this category, and it is clown shit. It is clown shit. GME is another cult. Absolutely. Who's that guy? Marantz Rants. He's honestly potentially more ridiculous than these guys. But
we could actually
I don't really want to get into that guy. He's another. He is just a supreme grifter. Sitting there slamming the AMC community.
Thanksgiving and Christmas.
While posturing some beta fucking retardedness about GameStop. Seriously.
Just as this was starting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing. Like, what's the positive catalyst? There's been no positive catalyst. And oops. And it's not loading the Rule 11880.
You got to understand, we're going to get a lion's share. Our biggest competitor is gone. And I've identified
our biggest competitor is gone. Dude, what the fuck? No, your biggest competitor is not fucking gone. What a clown. Holy fucking shit. These guys suck. I saw Scott. I'm like, what? I like when they say we too. Like, we have blah, blah, blah. Negative beta. Oh, yeah. GameStop employees hate the company. What did I see? I saw an article the other day that said that GameStop employees are getting pissed about parents who drop off the GameStop daycare, is what they call it. These parents drop off their fucking kids at GameStop, and they go in GameStop for a couple hours while the mom goes and gets her hair done, something like that. I mean, it's apparently a thing, and the GameStop employees, they hate it. They hate it. I would too.
Obviously, I didn't know until we got into all this.
School season.
Yeah, we should thank Gritter for his super chat.
Yeah, I was just going to let you finish up your statement. Gritter, thank you so much.
Sorry, go ahead.
Ritter, thank you so much. Is it true that Rule 1180 mandates that
here we go.
Is settled in 30 days instead of 90? I heard that today. Can you verify? So this is FINRA. This is the rule that you're talking about. To avoid a lengthy settlement days since 1987, FINRA Rule 11880 has required the syndicate manager of a selling syndicate in a public offering of corporate securities to effect the final settlement of syndicate accounts within the 90 days following the syndicate settlement date. the date the issuer delivers a corporate security to the account or the syndicate members, underwriting groups ordinarily form syndicate accounts to process the income and expense of the syndicate. The syndicate manager is responsible for maintaining accurate records and must provide each number, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's see. Net capital impact, 90-day period. Seems 90 days the magic number here. Let's see if there's anything on shorting.
Well, give me a fucking break. He saw 90. He saw
I don't
90.
really
So
see
that's it.
This would be focused on the delivery of the this would be dividend.
That sounds like an
delivery
expert right there.
to,
That guy knows what he's talking about. I can tell.
Syndicate accounts. I think syndicate accounts are the actual.
I think.
What's it called? The Class A preferred, right?
What?
The preferred stock, because they're syndicate accounts.
Yeah,
What
I mean the
fuck
general
are you
category.
talking
Yeah.
about?
Background, but I don't see anything that says short sellers. Let me just look it up.
Of course it doesn't.
Well, you're
Of
looking
course
at
it doesn't.
They don't want my answer because I'll tell you right now. Whenever I hear,
Thank you,
what do
Lynn.
you think of Rule 110 is? I'm like,
Thank you.
I laugh it off.
And
It's-
they do. They
any
do
rule
just skim
changes,
it.
Modifications, they don't apply where evenly to everyone. I just don't care anymore. They can't. It's like the boy that cried wolf for the 1,000th time. Gritter,
Well-
I'm telling you,
wait a minute.
I hope you're right. I'm wrong. I hope it's 30 days. But
So-
I don't put any confidence in them
so
at
here-
all anymore.
We could definitely say from his last statement there that they're classifying APE as a debt instrument, and it is not a debt instrument at all.
No, not.
So look at this.
I got-
FINRA understands that in the absence of an over-allotment of option, syndicate managers may over-allocate, offering to stabilize the secondary market prices, effectively creating a syndicate short position. Profits or losses in these transactions are considered part of the syndicate's revenue or expenses and depend on secondary market movement, which cannot be estimated, blah, blah, blah. However, the average profit loss from covering allocations is very small and must the over-allocation are offset within a few days of the issuance. Bessemer et al. I don't know. Oh, that's a legal precedence.
When these two camps.
Frank found that over 70% of
Oh, I
the
didn't know
issues
you were done.
with allocations in their sample are offset within 2 days after issuance. By day 15, 80% of the issuance have the allocation 100% offset. According to the authors, this means the net position for covering over-allotment short transaction and round-trip prices in the secondary markets between 240 losses per issue is a large allocation. So it doesn't give us a date. It just has... I have to research this.
I'll have to read
That's number-
it. Yeah.
Go ahead.
When I first subscribed,
These
to
guys
the
know
T+90
that
thing,
Al's a
there were two
clown.
theories
Listen
at
to
the
these
time.
guys. They fucking
Somebody
know
jumped in and
he's
said,
full of
moron,
fucking shit.
that rules for bonds. I'm like, yeah, okay, I get that. What I'm talking about was the overstock thing. Okay, I was counting out 90 days.
It's not a
and then
syndicate
the argument
anyway.
is it calendar days?
It's not a
business
syndicate.
Days? I mean, we've gone round and round with this, and I'm trying to apply the T+90 rule to what happened with overstock. Okay, you've got a failure to deliver. There's a new dividend out, and I think APE is very much like the NFT dividend.
Oh yeah,
from,
very much like
from
it.
overstock. It's
course.
difficult to counterfeit, and I was saying, hey, if you guys are short and it turns into an FTD, ultimately you're still going to have to deliver. You're still going to have to locate. So you're going to have to go buy them.
I thought there was no
Someone has
locate.
to loan them to
Fidelity
you,
said there's no
from the
locate
clearing
requirement on
firms.
special
And
dividends.
if they're not there, you have to cover them, and that's 90 days. So the T+90 thing sounds really official, but it is about bonds.
Yeah, these are not
I hope
bonds.
did I explain myself right, Kyle? What do you think?
Yeah, no, you did. And I was going to point out that there are also additional companies that have issued dividends that have all fallen into this 90-day category, including but not limited to Tesla.
That's right, Tesla. There's one
Oh,
other two.
Tesla, yeah.
So Yeah,
Fucking
I mean,
retards.
it's
These guys
it's
suck.
basically. I still believe that the 90-day theory is probably the most accurate. Although that does not discount the possibility of other things happening that could drive the market
I just have
into
to go to Twitter.
different sorts of actions that would cause this to basically cause them to jump out and try to get ahead of themselves.
Oh, for sure.
You know, it's
Hey, Gritter, I
think-
hope you're right and we're wrong. I hope it's 30 days. I hope it's tomorrow morning. So,
Yeah, well,
I
nothing-
hope this.
that's a
nothing
grifter
wrong
thing to
with that
say
in
right there.
in any way, shape, or
That's
form.
how we know these
But
guys.
but yeah, you know, we might see like this upcoming week is definitely like the
God.
signs over the weekend for global economics and just the chaos
Yes, it means that you're
that is
obviously
going on
means that
is
these children are going to get
absolutely
rich.
astronomical.
Be a fucking break.
And there might be a tremendous amount of fallout from that. And I'm
Mm.
you know, I'm here for it. I am absolutely ready for the chaos. So you know, but that any one of these things could help push us in the right direction
Agreed.
in exactly the same way.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Nope.
Okay, so I just went ahead and shot my professor from business school an email, or sorry, a text message, and I asked him that question: T30 or T90. Hopefully, he's awake.
He's not gonna
and,
fucking know.
He'll send me a note back.
Some bullshit.
So we can look forward to that.
Hopefully he's awake. God, what a
So,
fucking clown.
Let's get into the conversation.
Oh my God. Let me
Pixar.
emailed my
Can we talk
professor.
Pixar, gentlemen?
How fucking
let's
pathetic.
Take a look at Google Maps of San Francisco. All right, here we go. This is San Francisco. Here's the map. Now,
Chris. Cheated on their
There we
diet
go.
today. What did your wife say?
there's the San Fran area. We're gonna try to
Or did she
Emeryville,
involved as well?
California,
Oh, come
the
on.
AMC,
Jesus
Bay
Christ.
Street. There's one in AMC. Okay,
All right.
that's literally
Goodbye, Al. It still won't load. Yeah, it's getting to be about that time. Let's see, who blocked you? Al from Boston. Just got on his watching. Love it. Love it. Oh, God. Okay. Well, anyway, somebody, no, it doesn't matter. Okay. So in this video, CSI talks about Lou. You know, we don't need to watch it. We know Lou's a grifter, you know, and there's really not much to say here. I don't think Lou has a computer. He's spending all his money on his wardrobe. Antoinette always talks about his cheap well, probably more than one of Lou's a clown. He's not even funny anymore. He's straight disrespectful to us investors. Well, I'll take issue with that term, investor, but okay. One last look at the futures market. Probably last. Tesla might be $200 soon. What is Tesla at now? I don't know. I can't even. It's so hard to remember because of the split. Al is full of shit. He has no professor. It's his probation officer. Yeah. Al from Scampton. They will either dance or spit on my grave. $2 t-shirts. Yes, those Family Dollar special t-shirts. AMC acquisition will spark the squeeze. Every day it's something new will spark the fucking squeeze. I mean, come on. It's clear now what the fuck is going to spark the fucking squeeze. So we got the dollar on a rip. Now hit a new high for today. Now remember, I think it was 2006, 2007. Anyway, it's good times. VIX is holding right at 30. How about if we did this? Product depth on, anyway, everything's so slow. Okay. Oh, never mind. Sorry, I even tried. Well, there, oh, well, there it was for a second. Okay. Tesla's 275.61. Notice that many are calling for Lou to get a bra. Would that be a bro or a manzier? I don't know. Let me consult the ass man. Okay. I, missed those days back when TV was wholesome. Okay. Well, tomorrow's going to be fun. Tomorrow should be a fun day, right? Illegal shorts are getting exposed. Illegal shorts. So many illegal shorts, guys. Oh my gosh, illegal shorts. I'm making the jerk off signal with my hand too. Moving my hand back and forth. And just so we're clear, Andrew No Money is a weenie. He qualifies as a weenie. Wow, there's a lot of red. Holy shit, that's a lot of red. What's this? Bermuda? Oh, the Bermuda stock market's open. It's unchanged. Cool. Well, everything's all good, guys. Bermuda is unchanged. Japan is down 2%. But their VIX is also down 4%, so it's hard to know what's going on there. We got Australia open and Australia down a couple percent. Australia. That's all so far. We'll have Europe. We'll have China and Asia kicking it off, and then Europe will say, let's kick it off. And they'll kick it off. And they'll be off to the races. So we'll see. And then, yeah, we'll kick it off. So I am going to kick myself off of here. And I'm going to kick the song off. So much kicking. I want to kick just like the hedgies kicking the can. Kick the can. Let's kick it off. Let's jerk them off. They're jerking us off. I don't know. Roll another blunt. What can I say? These are good times. Hey, I appreciate all you guys being here on a Sunday for futures market open. I had to think about what it was. And yeah, Chris is going to go puff a cigar. Wacky tobacco. You know what we got going on there. Antoinette is going to go kick the can, kick the song, kick the weenie, griff the Scott. I don't know. MOASS tomorrow. Model 3 dude. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here. All of you guys. My little channel. Small potatoes. But, Idaho russets. Small new potatoes. That's what it is. New. We're kicking the can of new potatoes. It's been a long week, but I tell you, it's always fun to go to Reddit at the end of the day and see what the hell they're saying. Antoinette's still at the airport. I do not envy that or wish that I were in your shoes in the airport. Oh, that sounds horrible. The Australian Central Bank has reported a loss of $37 billion and plans to cut dividends to the Treasury. Central banks around the world are now reporting losses. QE has backfired. Probably nothing. Does this help MOASS? I'll always be a smooth brain. Don't forget, Ken Griffin lied under oath. No, he didn't. I mean, I heard the testimony. I read the filing. Yeah, safe travels to Antoinette. Got this as change from Moore Street Market AMC to the fucking moon. Excuse me. It's a federal offense right there, defacing federal notes. Tisk, tisk, tisk. You know, they don't have any respect. If retail needs to sell to begin the next bull market, there's never going to be another bull market. The truth, not speculative, but based off data and admitted facts, is that retail has no impact on the market beyond being used for liquidity and payment for order flow information, 80 to 90% routed to dark pool every day. Passive-aggressive ass retards. I mean, seriously. Yeah, you, random hero 66611, you have no impact on the market. True. Let's see. Don't say it's too big a single point of risk for a bank. The banks have hit or are close to hitting their liquidity risk and counterparty risk levels. Oh, so let's take something out of context and claim it as bullish for AMC. I'm cleaning the IV room tomorrow. Comment if you remember. Don't remember, don't care. Okay, there's the double chorus. That's my cue to get the hell out of here. So, with that said, we're going to be so fucking rich. And we're going to be so fucking rich. Tomorrow will be hell on earth for AMC. $5 a share. It's going to push the grifters to the limit. We'll see what happens. AMC $4. Ape $2. I'm by the way, I'm working on getting the prediction market prop bet idea going. I got another angle that I'm looking at here. So, because it needs to happen. We need something like that. Legal or illegal, or just a private, it'll be a private club. You know how these clubs, the VFW and whatnot, the Moose Lodge, they can allow smoking indoors, at least in my state, in Ohio, because they're a private club. And so there's an exemption. So we're going to claim the private club exemption for this unregulated, illegal futures, securities, it's not securities, prediction, proposition bet market. So don't worry, you won't be arrested. And you can make $1 here and there. It'll be cool. But that's the kind of thing we will be making predictions on. Let's put it that way. And hopefully rewarded if we're right. So anyway, have a good night, guys. And we will catch you later. And I'm going to leave it right there. Good night. See ya.